Hi and welcome to Cheeky Richo's Nutella Butterscotch Bars. These are obscenely unhealthy for you, but they do taste amazing. I've given you quite a few healthy recipes of late, and now we're just going to jump off the rails a little bit with something a bit naughty. The ingredients are in the recipe box below. I have significantly wound the sugar back on this particular recipe, but feel free to up the sugar content if you like, but I really don't think you're going to need it. We've preheated our oven to 180 degrees Celsius. We've got an 8-inch or a 20 centimetre silicone pan here, which we're just going to lightly grease with a little bit of olive oil spray and put it to one side. Now there's actually sort of 3 layers to this recipe. The first thing that we're going to do is add our salt to our self-raising flour. If you can't get self-raising flour where you live, just make it up with plain flour and baking powder. I've got this what do you call it? Pastry cutter for cutting the butter into the pastry. So we're just going to send our butter in now. This is our homemade butter and we just let it get sort of to room temperature, but it's quite cool here at the moment, and you'll be pleased to know it has actually stopped raining. I didn't think it ever would. Now we just mix this in. That's quite a quick job. This is fast, like super fast. In with our sugar. Use any sort of sugar that you like. Brown sugar is going to be quite a bit sweeter and give it a different color, so you might want to even wind that back even more. Just mix it all in, and it's in with our egg, and same thing. Now this is going to be really crumbly, and we want it crumbly because the top layer is going to be this all crumbled up. So just mix it all up. It's almost a bit like a shortbready sort of mixture, and we're going to press about 2/3 of it into our pan. Don't need to weigh it or anything, just eyeball it. There you go, it's all come together. You didn't think it would, did you? Now, just break it in 3s, that's the easiest way to do it. 1, 2, 3. And pop 2/3 of it into our pan and just press it in, coming up the sides. It'll make it a lot easier to cut later on and to serve. And we're going to bake this for about 8 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius until it's just starting to cook. Not too much, because this is going to be cooked again later, so you don't want to completely cook it. Trust me, it won't be doughy at all. Press this. You don't have to roll it out or anything like that. Just press it in sort of rustic, because it's going to have the crumble and stuff on top of it as well, and you'll never know what's underneath it. Okay, there we are, all nicely pressed in. Pop it onto a baking tray to help it keep its shape a little bit, and into the oven we go. Okay, after 8 minutes you can see it is nowhere near cooked. It's really quite soft. Just pay attention when you're making this not to make it too thick in the corners, because it'll be really quite sort of doughy in the corners, and that's not so nice. Now we're just going to blob our Nutella just around. Because it's so soft, it's going to be very hard to spread it, but it will soften because this just comes straight out of the oven, so it's really quite hot. Dollop it all around. I did tell you this was naughty, didn't I? I warned you. Doesn't want to spread. Don't get too excited about it, because it'll just sort of melt in with the filling as it goes on as well. But it is melting. You see it's sort of going a bit chocolatey there. I suppose I could have nuked it a little while in the microwave to soften it up even more, but this will do the job. It'll be fine. Trust me. Just do the best that you can. As you can see, it's starting to soften as I go, just from the heat of the base. And then we're going to sprinkle it with, you can either use butterscotch chips, or I've got some caramel chips, but it'll still taste like butterscotch when it's done. And you get those in the baking aisle in your supermarket. Naughty, huh? Check that out. Yum yum. Now, chips over the whole deal, making as even as you can. Mini marshmallow. You could use marshmallow fluff in this recipe too, I suppose. Now, you just break up our cookie dough that was the bake and just sprinkle that all over the top. And what will happen is the marshmallows will sort of buff up and sort of pop up through our cookie dough. You could easily double this recipe if you wanted to, but really that could be a one-way ticket to Diabetesville. See, it crumbles really easily, and then it'll sort of get hippie and hollowy, and the butterscotch chips will melt. Marshmallows will be all sort of fluffy and crispy. And now we're just going to bake these about 18 or 20 minutes until it's nice and brown. Put it on the tray just in case it tries to get out of the pan. Okay, that is all you have to do. Make sure it's pretty even. A bit hard to do when it's a crumble. Back into the oven we go. See you in 18 minutes. Okay, 18 minutes later, it's hot and bubbly from the oven. It's really quite soft on top because of the marshmallows are sort of buffed up. And we're just going to allow that to completely cool before we cut it, because it's going to fly to bits otherwise. And you need to have those marshmallows relax back into their cool state. So just allow those to cool. Don't have to pop them in the fridge or anything. Room temperature is fine. And then they'll be ready to eat. I know I said I was going to wait till it cooled, but I can't. It just smells so good, and I'm really hungry. So we'll cut a little chunk off, and I'll show you what it looks like. Oh my God. Look at that. Yum, 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 yum. Just try it once. And try not to eat too much at once. This is really good. It's like a light, shortbready sort of base, creamy and rich and gooey in the center, and crusty in the top. Tons of texture, tons of sugar, and tastes great. Thanks for watching. Yum.